Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य स्तोत्र सतश्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ISKCON Bibli Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक आचार्य स्तोत्र सतश्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्री श्री राधा माधव ललिता विशाखा सखी की श्री श्री जानकी वल्लभ लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्री निताई गौर सुंदर की श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की निताई गौर प्रेमानंद all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jita Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanitanscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhaivacha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
हरे कृष्णा। तो महाराज जी का प्रवचन अंग्रेजी में होगा। जो भक्त लोग हिंदी में सुनना चाहते हैं वो थोड़ा पीछे बैठ सकते हैं। राम जी के ऑल्टर के सामने, जानकी वल्लभ जी के ऑल्टर के सामने। रमेश हो, आप ट्रांसलेट करेंगे? ओके, श्याम रसिक प्रभु करेंगे। श्याम रसिक प्रभु विल ट्रांसलेट। तो श्याम रसिक प्रभु पीछे बैठ रहे हैं, जानकी वल्लभ लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी क्वार्टर के सामने। हरे कृष्ण।
So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 86. Chapter is entitled Arjuna Kidnaps Subhadra. Text number 13 to 15. So I'll read text number 13 and 14 because there is no purport. Then we'll chant together text number 15. Text 13. Shishuku Vacha. We don't have to repeat. Krishna Sadis Dija Shrashta Suta Deva Iti Shuta Krishnaiko Bhakta Purnartha Santa Kavir Alampataha. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami continued, there was a devotee of Krishna's known as Shrutadeva, who was a first-class Brahmana, perfectly satisfied by rendering unalloyed devotional service to Lord Krishna. He was peaceful, learned, and free from sense gratification. Text 14. Sa upasa videheshu mithilayam grihasami aniyayo agatarya nirvatita nijakriya. Translation. Living as a religious householder in the city of Mithila, within the kingdom of Videha, he managed to fulfill his obligations while maintaining himself with whatever sustenance easily came his way. Text number 15, we'll chant together. Yatra matram tahar ahar Doibat upo namuti uta Nadhikam tabata tushta Kriya chakre jatha chitaha At yatra matram tahor ahar Doivat upanamati uta Nahikam tavata tushta Kriya chakre jatha chitaha Yatra matram tahor ahar Daivat upanamati uta Nadhikam tavata tushta Kriya chakre jatha chitaha.
Yatra matram tvaraha
Yatra matram tvaraha Daivadupanamatyuta Nadhikam tavata tushtaha Kriya chakre yathochitaha.
Mataji, Ghosh. Yatra matram bare maintenance. To and aha day after day. Daiva due to his fate. Upanamati came to him. Uta indeed. Na adhikam no more. Tavata with that much. Tushtaha satisfied. Kriyaha duties. Chakre he did. Yatha as. Uchitaha appropriate. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. By the will of providence, he obtained each day just what he needed for his maintenance, and no more. Satisfied with this much, he properly executed his religious duties. An ideal purport, an ideal Vaishnava Brahmana, even if encumbered by the ties of family life, should work only as required to meet his obligations, without being unnecessarily agitated for material advancement. He should devote the best part of his time and assets to his higher duties in the Supreme Lord's service. If a householder can succeed in this program, despite the unavoidable difficulties of this degraded age, he can expect Lord Krishna's personal attention, as will be seen in the case of Sutradeva, the perfect Brahmana of Mithila. Mukam krati vachalam pangulanghaite giring jatkripatamaham bande Sri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Isharam. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. So yesterday, Anuttama Prabhu took the difficult part of the chapter. So today is a little easier part. Today we'll be discussing about the quality of a Brahmana who used to reside in Mithila. And his name was Sutradeva. And this topic will continue also tomorrow. So Srila Prabhupada used to say that the Brahmanas are the head of the society. In the initial days, during the initial days, Srila Prabhupada used to say that I established this International Society for Krishna Consciousness to create some Brahmanas in this world. So Prabhupada wanted to establish Brahminical culture. So Brahmana, according to Bhagavad Gita, is not by birth. Guna karma vibhagasa. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasa. According to the qualities and the activities, society has been divided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because we need varieties. Just like in our body, we need the brain, we need the hands, we need the legs, we need belly, so many parts are needed. All are unique and are also interdependent, interrelated. In the same way, society is also compared like a body, and this society also needs different limbs. So primarily, the 4 limbs, according to the occupational duty, is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. So here we will be talking about Brahmana because that is the topic. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 9 qualities of a Brahmana. Samodama tapasaucham kantirarjamam evacha jnana vijnanam astikam brahma karma sabhavajam. These are the 9 qualities, starting with Sama and Dhamma. Samadhamma means controlling the senses and controlling the mind. Sense control is the fundamental aspect to establish Brahminical qualities in our character. And what is the benefit if you establish yourself in Brahminical qualities? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if you become a Brahmana or situate yourself at the level of Brahman, what will happen? Brahma bhuta prasanna atma na sachati na kankshati samo sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. What will happen when we act on transcendence? We become prasanna atma, satisfied. Satisfaction comes from within. It's an experience of the soul. When the soul is connected with the Supreme Lord, the soul experiences that happens. It cannot come from the external situations. That's why a Brahmana is always satisfied. Why? Because he is connected strongly with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is said, Janmana jayate sudra, sangaskarat bhavet dija, veda pathat bhavet vipra, brahma janati iti brahmana. By birth, we are not Brahmana, rather we are born in ignorance. Janmana jayate sudra. Then in order to get knowledge, we have to be initiated. We have to take second birth. Sangaskarat. Sangaskarat means the process of initiation. Bhavet dija. We become twice born. The spiritual master becomes the father and Gayatri Mantra becomes the mother. Sangaskarat bhavet dija. Then you may ask why we need to be initiated. Next line says, to study Vedas. The purpose of getting second initiation or taking the second birth is to study Vedas, to situate ourselves from ignorance to knowledge. Those who study Vedas, they are known as Vipra. Veda Pathat Bhavet Vipra. Then people ask, why to study Vedas? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Vedascha Sarver Aham Eva Vedya. The purpose of studying Vedas is to know Krishna. So that is the object of studying. So who knows the absolute truth? Brahma janati iti brahmana. Who knows the absolute truth? He is a brahmana. In Srimad Bhagavatam it is explained, absolute truth can be understood at 3 different levels. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabdati. Absolute truth can be understood at the level of impersonal Brahma Jyoti. It can be understood as the localized aspect, Paramatma. And also, it can be understood at the level of Bhagavan, the personality of God. So we can also become Brahmana at different levels. The Brahmana who knows only the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth by the process of Jnana Yoga, he is known as Jnani Brahmana. And who knows the Paramatma aspect of the absolute truth through the process of Ashtanga Yoga is known as Yogi Brahmana. And who understands the absolute truth at the level of Bhagavan through the process of pure devotional service is known as Vaishnava Brahmana. When Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas talk about Brahmana, they talk about Vaishnava Brahmana. That is very, very important. So Vaishnava Brahmana who knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead completely. He is a Vaishnava Brahmana. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling in South India and he reached a place named as Rangakshetra, Srirangam, headquarters of learned Brahmana. And there, one Brahmana used to recite the whole Bhagavad Gita, the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita every day. For us on Gita Jayanti also reciting 18 chapters is difficult, but for him, he used to recite every day 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. But he was not so scholarly. He was not able to pronounce the verses properly. And because of that, others used to ridicule him, laugh at him. But Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that Brahmana was not bothered by this. Abhishto hoiya Gita pore ananditam. He was completely absorbed and he was in complete bliss reciting the verses from Bhagavad Gita. And he was exhibiting the symptoms of love of God. Sometimes we think, in order to experience love of Godhead, we have to study some higher literatures. Some rasic literatures are needed. But here, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that Brahmana was reciting the verses from Bhagavad Gita and he was exhibiting the symptoms of love of God. That's why Prabhupada said, I have given everything. He said, if you study Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you don't need to read any other books. Everything is there. That's why it is said, Bhagavad Gita is high school study, Srimad Bhagavatam is college studies, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is PhD study. I think that is the end of the study, looks like. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada used to say that Chaitanya Charitamrita is the life and soul for the Gauriya Vaishnavas. Prabhupada, while he was in Jaladuta, used to say, my only solace was Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he used to give an analysis, Srila Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada. If there is a big flood came, lot of water, and you have to rush out from the place, and you are not able to carry anything with you, but you don't forget to carry at least 3 things. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But water is increasing. Those who are in Mayapur, they know what is the meaning of this. And those who do not have experience of flood, just hear. Water is increasing, but you are not able to carry 3 things. You have to give up, or you have to leave one thing. Then he is recommending leave Bhagavad Gita. Does not mean, it should not compare like that, but trying to establish the position of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then water was also still increasing. You cannot carry 2 things also. You have to give up another thing. Then keep Srimad Bhagavatam. Still water is increasing. You cannot carry anything. The situation is coming like that. But Srila Prabhupada is recommending, better die in the water of the flood, but never give up Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, Bhagavad Gita is such a book. Whenever you read, you get different meaning. Beginning days, I was reading very thoroughly Bhagavad Gita. Because my spiritual master told, before my initiation, I read Bhagavad Gita 10 times. And still I am reading every day. When I am traveling, I read Bhagavad Gita. So that inspired me to study Bhagavad Gita. And I was studying first time, one kind of understanding. Second time, different kind. I have a whole bunch of notes, and different times, different kinds of understanding is coming. By that we can understand the message of Bhagavad Gita is very, very deep. It can give you Shraddha, and it can give you also love of God. Not only love of God, it can give Braja Prema Bhakti. The Gopi's love for Krishna can be also experienced through proper study of Bhagavad Gita. So this Brahmana was experiencing that love of God. And he was completely satisfied. Abhishto hoiya Gita pore anandita mone. That is the quality of a Brahmana. Brahmana is completely absorbed in the service of the Lord. Absorption is very, very important. Abhishto hoiya. Our mind is distracted. Is attracted to the positive things, distracted from the negative things. But both are distractions. If you feel nice about the good things, and if you feel bad about the good things, both are distractions. But a Brahmana is not at all interested in what's happening in this world. Why? Because his mind is absorbed. And we hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, Akrura, he was traveling. He was sent by Kamsa to bring Krishna to Mathura. So Akrura was traveling on a chariot, new chariot, brand new chariot. If you get a new car, your focus will be in the car, right? But Akrura was not attracted by the chariot given by Kamsa. It is explained, he started his journey from Mathura early in the morning. And he reached Nandagaon in the evening. And those who are familiar with Brajamandal, you know, it's not so long, it's not so far. And you are also traveling on a chariot. It will take much less time. But why Akrura took so much time? Abhishta. Akrura was completely absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan. That's why he was not understanding whether he is going left or right. If you are too much absorbed in the so-called geography of this world, then you cannot enter Vrindavan. Because Vrindavan is beyond the geography of this world. So Akrura was not able to find out where he is going, but by the grace of Krishna, because he was completely absorbed in his thought, he reached Vrindavan. So absorption is very, very important. Absorption leads to transcendence. That is the quality to take off from this material world. So this Brahmana was completely absorbed in reciting Bhagavad Gita. And he was exhibiting love of God. But nobody was able to understand what's going on. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu noticed that he is a pure devotee. So that is another lesson. Whether anybody is understanding you or not, that's not so important. Whole world can not understand you. If Krishna understands your purpose, your life is successful. Here, others could not understand the purpose of his study of Bhagavad Gita. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completely understood. Then he approached the devotee, that Vaishnava Brahmana. What kind of meaning you are deriving from Bhagavad Gita that you are so happy? He said, Sabdartha nahi jane. I don't know any meaning of Bhagavad Gita. Suddha Asuddha Gita Puri Guru Agya Mani. Because my spiritual master told me to read Bhagavad Gita every day. That's why I am reading Bhagavad Gita every day. And Prabhupada is writing that is the secret of success. When we have implicit faith in the words of the spiritual master, then all the imports of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam Vedic literature will be revealed in your heart. That is a qualification, not the academic excellence. We cannot understand Bhagavad Gita by our intelligence, Prabhupada is telling. An academic expertise. You can read and memorize all the 700 verses. Even after that you may not understand anything of Bhagavad Gita. There is a very interesting verse about Srimad Bhagavatam. Who understands Bhagavatam? It is said, Sukha vetti, Vyasa vetti, na vetti va. It's a very interesting verse. It is said, Sukadev Goswami knows Bhagavatam. Vyasadev may know, may not know. Interesting point. Vyasadev composed Srimad Bhagavatam by the instruction of Narada Muni. And he trained Sukadev Goswami. Srimad Bhagavatam. So he is the father, he is the teacher, he is the compiler of Vedas, compilers of Srimad Bhagavatam. But it is explained, Vyasa vetti na vetti. Vyasadev may know, may not know. But who knows? Sukadev Goswami knows. So there are 3 levels of knowledge. Acquired knowledge, realized knowledge, and revealed knowledge. By studying, by hearing, we can acquire some information. That is called acquired knowledge. And anybody can do that. And that is called academic endeavor. But spiritual life is not about information. Spiritual life is all about transformation. So transformation will take place when we apply that information in our life. Application of knowledge is more important than knowledge. So when we apply, then what will happen? Realization will come. We have the knowledge from the very first day of our entry in ISKCON. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are all His eternal servants, and the process is pure devotional service, right? Prabhupada said that to understand this, to know this, you have to go through so many lifetimes, but by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, anybody can know this if they fortunately enter into the area of preaching of ISKCON. They will know this. But one thing is knowing, other thing is realizing. Prabhupada used to say, are you convinced Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God? Conviction will come from realization. That's why we have to convince at different levels. So when you start the process, we have to have philosophical conviction. That is very, very important. If you don't have philosophical conviction, Prabhupada, that's why he used to say that we should study these books so that we become convinced. Otherwise, what will happen? Somebody will tell something else and we will be diverted. So conviction is very much needed. One reporter asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, you are always talking about Krishna, Krishna. But in case Krishna is not there, what will happen to you? Krishna, if Krishna is not there, what will happen? So Prabhupada said, we have no problem. Even if Krishna is not there, we are very happy. We are enjoying our life. Even if Krishna is not there, what's the problem? Because the purpose of our life is to become happy. So we are very happy. But in case Krishna is there, what will happen to you? By face I can understand you are not happy. And after you leave your body, what will happen? That is called philosophical understanding. So, we have to convince ourselves that the Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we are His eternal servants. So in order to do that, we have to engage in His devotional service. That's why ISKCON is a platform to practically engage in the service. And service will give realizations. Study alone will not give realization. That's why we study in the morning, whole day we practice. But if you don't practice that knowledge, what will happen? We will become so-called academic scholars. This Acharya said this, that Acharya said that. That is very nice. But what you have realized, that is very, very important. That is the purpose of knowledge, to get realization. And when realization is complete, that is called revealed knowledge, revelation. Valmiki Muni, by the grace of Narad Muni, he could see the pastimes of Lord Ram. While he was there, what has happened and what is going to happen. He saw both. He saw past, present and future. He saw it. Then he wrote. It's not a poetic expertise. It is the revealed knowledge. Then Vyasdev also saw by the grace of Narad Muni and composed Srimad Bhagavatam. Brahmaji saw the whole spiritual world and composed Brahma Samhita. And Srila Prabhupada used to read his own books. Right? And everybody used to ask Prabhupada, you have written this, why you are reading your books? He said, I have not written this book. Krishna has written this book. So Bhaktivedanta purports are not acquired knowledge. Bhaktivedanta purports are revealed knowledge. Prabhupada is my devotional ecstasy. My writings are my devotional ecstasy. So, one very favorite analysis I always say when I talk about Prabhupada's purport, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept love of Godhead in the river Padma. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept love of Godhead for who? Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur appeared after Mahaprabhu's disappearance. But Mahaprabhu predicted that Narottam will come. So by that we can understand the position of Narottam. So he kept love of Godhead for Narottam in the river Padma. And he told Padma Devi that when Narottam will come, please hand over this love of Godhead to Narottam. So Padma Devi said, giving is very simple, not a problem. But how I will be able to identify who is Narottam? So Mahaprabhu said it's also very simple. Whatever ecstasy you are experiencing now by the touch of my body, when that kind of ecstasy you will experience again by the touch of another personality, that personality is Narottam. Very simple. So Padma Devi said, okay. So Narottam got love of Godhead before he got initiation. This is another story. Loknath Goswami and Narottam Das Thakur. Because Mahaprabhu also predicted that Loknath Goswami will be the spiritual master of Narottam Das Thakur. Loknath Goswami also knew, Narottam also knew. So now, love of Godhead was kept by Mahaprabhu in the water of Padma. So, for Narottam. But Mahaprabhu, where he kept love of Godhead for us? Some question. Which river he has kept? Then we can try there. So one devotee was very nicely elaborating. So Mahaprabhu sent his Senapati Bhakta to distribute love of Godhead on his behalf. And that love of Godhead is there in Bhaktivedanta purports. So if you want to have love of Godhead, dive into the water. Which water? Bhaktivedanta purports. So this is the power of revelation. So that Brahmana was experiencing that kind of ecstasy. And what is the secret? Suddha Asuddha Gita Puri Guru Agyamani. Following the instruction of the spiritual master is the secret of success. Desire to please the previous acharya is the success formula. And he is exhibiting that. He was not a scholar from academic point of view. He was not learned. And he told Mahaprabhu that when I read Bhagavad Gita, I can see only one thing. What I see? Krishna is on the chariot and he is driving the chariot of Arjuna. That's the only thing I can see in each word of Bhagavad Gita. And Mahaprabhu said, you are the most suitable candidate to study Bhagavad Gita. That is the perfection of all life. What is the perfection? When we can see Krishna everywhere. Sthabara jangama dekhe na dekhe tar murti, sarvatra hai tar ishta devasmurti. That Brahmana was seeing in each verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna. It is also explained about Srimad Bhagavatam. Each word of Bhagavatam is enough to liberate us from this world. And each verse, each word has different meaning. Jiva Goswami explains Janmarasya. What is the meaning of Janmarasya? We generally have the meaning Krishna is the cause of destruction, not first, creation, then annihilation and maintenance. That is the normal meaning. And what meaning Jiva Goswami is giving? Krishna appeared in Mathura. Janmarasya. Sanskrit also a very deep language. And every language has its unique feature, but Sanskrit can give you a lot of varieties of meaning. And how you can understand? Know this by the pure devotees. So, it is revealed in the heart. Dibbagyan Hidaya Prakashita. So Bhagavad Gita was revealed in the heart of that Brahman. Revealed knowledge. And he was experiencing ecstasy. So in order to experience ecstasy, you have to be at the level of revelation. Not by artificially studying. There is nothing wrong to study. Study has to be there. Prabhupada said you should definitely study. But what is the purpose of study? Vedasya sarve aham vedanta. The purpose of studying is to know Krishna. If we don't know Krishna, then what is the purpose? What is the use of studying Shastra? That's why Brahmana means who knows Brahman. A Vaishnava Brahmana means who has realized the absolute truth in the form of Bhagavan. So Prabhupada wanted that ISKCON should create some Vaishnava Brahmana. Not by wearing sacred thread you can become Vaishnava Brahmana. That is external. Right? Generally we think that transformation means transformation externally. That is also important. Changing our dress, changing our name, changing our hairstyle, changing our many other things, changing location, changing services, changing life. But that's not the purpose of our life. Purpose of our life is to change within. Purpose of initiation is to transform our heart, change our heart. That is the purpose of initiation. And for that we have to hear. Savana Kirtana Jale Karaha Sinchan. Mahaprabhu is telling Rupa Goswami, after initiation what you have to do? We have to attentively hear, regularly hear the message from the mouth of a bona fide spiritual master. And that will awaken our love of God. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunai Savanadi Suddha Chitte Karo Uday. The love of God and realization, revelation will take place in the heart when we regularly hear with attention. Attentively, Prabhupada used to say. Sit properly, hear attentively. Then what will happen? Realization will come. But we have to hear from who? A realized devotee. Because a realized devotee will speak from his heart, not from his brain. Dibbogyan Hridaya Prakashita, not Dibbogyan Braina Prakashita. It is not revealed in the intelligence, it is revealed in the heart. Because both Atma and Paramatma are there in the heart, not in the brain. That's why revelation takes place in the heart. That's why a pure devotee, when he talks from his heart. And in the heart of a pure devotee, Lord takes rest. Very peacefully, he takes rest. And when he speaks, that sound vibration carries the aroma of the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. That's why it is known as Birjavati Harikatha. It means it has a lot of potency, very potent, when you hear from a realized soul. And when a person with a lot of faith hears that sound vibration, and what will happen? That will go through his ear and enter into his heart. And when that sound vibration enters into the heart of a sincere listener, Krishna is transferred from the heart of the speaker to the heart of the hearer. And that is the process of initiation. That is the real meaning of initiation. What is the real meaning of initiation? When Krishna is transferred from the heart of the spiritual master to the heart of the disciple. And Prabhupada gives the example, the purport, where Krishna was transferred from the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki. That is initiation. Why Krishna appeared in the heart of Vasudeva? Because Vasudeva's heart was free from all unearthers. Who can be a spiritual master? Genuine spiritual master is that person whose heart is free from lust, anger, greed, pride, envy and illusion. He is qualified to be a spiritual master. Real spiritual master. Anybody can be a spiritual master, but his service will be limited. But if you really want to help someone, and that help can happen when Krishna is transferred from the heart of the spiritual master to the heart of the disciple. So in order to transfer, you should have first. So therefore, we have to experience first. If we experience Krishna, then we can share Krishna. And that is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's argument. Mahaprabhu came to experience love of Godhead and distribute love of God. So as a devotee of Krishna consciousness movement, we have two business: experience Krishna and share Krishna. And that's what Prabhupada did, and that's what previous acharyas did, and that's what Mahaprabhu did. And as a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a follower of Srila Prabhupada, we have the same thing to do. But in order to do that, we have to follow in the footsteps of the previous Acharya, as given by Srila Prabhupada. Process is very simple, provided we have faith in that process. It works. It is eternal process. That's why if we have faith, then we can also experience what our previous Acharyas experienced. And that's what the reason Prabhupada established this Krishna consciousness movement, so that anybody from any corner of the world can experience this and make their aim and form of life successful. The purpose is to become a Vaishnava, and Vaishnava means who has realized the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the purpose. And that Vaishnava is automatically a Brahmana. And when Prabhupada talks about Brahmana, he talks about Vaishnava Brahmana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanand. Any question or comment? Because 10 o'clock is the very important event. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for very wonderful class, understanding on Brahmana Vaishnava and the qualities and how we can aspire to come to the Prabhupada's expectation. I just wanted more elaboration on that shloka which you are quoting about Shuka Vetti, Vyasa Vetti, Na Vetti. So, in what context and how it is to be understood, what it means?
It was spoken. The reference is very difficult to find out, but I heard this is spoken by Lord Shiva. In a joking way he spoke. But by this you can understand that even if you write, you may not be able to understand. So this realization and revelation is given by Krishna. How much you will understand, it depends on Krishna's mercy. That's why Shukadev Goswami was chosen to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. In that assembly, all were seniors. Right? Everybody was there. And he was the youngest. But he was the senior most. Why? Because he realized Srimad Bhagavatam completely. Srimad Bhagavatam was revealed to Sukadeva Goswami. That's why to establish the glory of Sukadeva Goswami, this verse is spoken. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you Maharaj for the wonderful lecture. Maharaj, my question was, as you mentioned in the lecture that about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and Chaitanya study should be encouraged. But we also see there are increasing number of courses on other books and the commentaries of acharyas. So devotees tend to develop aspiration for such study. So how should we understand these?
First, we have to recognize, understand our identity. Who are we? So Mahaprabhu said, Jive Swarupaya Krishna Nitya Das. So our identity is with the servant of Krishna. Then which Krishna? So Mahaprabhu said, Aradha Bhagavan Brajasatana, Tad Dhama Vrindavan. We worship Krishna in Vrindavan. So who has given this knowledge? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And who has given the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to us? Who has given? You have any doubt? So we are all here because of the mercy of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we are Prabhupada Nuga Vaishnava. That's our identity. We are Prabhupada Nuga. So Prabhupada said, my books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. Law books, he said. Not an academic book, law book. If you want to know, whatever you need to know, I have given in my books. That's what Prabhupada said. Whatever you need to know, I have given everything in my books. So if you want to know everything, what do you have to study? Prabhupada books. Then Prabhupada in his books is writing, the serious student of Srimad Bhagavatam should consult the commentaries of the previous acharyas. One thing is reference book, another thing is textbook. In Hare Krishna movement, in Krishna consciousness movement, Srila Prabhupada's books are the textbooks. And you can have reference book to understand Prabhupada's writing in a better way. That is all right. But problem is, you start thinking that I know more than our founder Acharya. And that happens because of the immaturity. You can analyze this word, that word, this Sanskrit, that's very nice. But that's not going to give you realization of Krishna. That is not revealed knowledge. What Prabhupada gave to us, that is revealed knowledge. He saw, he was dictated by Krishna, and he gave that to us. That's why Prabhupada's books are not academic books only. Prabhupada's books are not only spiritual books. Prabhupada's books are books of revelation, revealed knowledge. Prabhupada said, these are my devotional ecstasy. If you want to experience love of Godhead, dive into Bhaktivedanta purpose. And that is the purpose. Okay? Confusion is clear, or I created more confusion? But we have two extremes. One, this. Other, this. Maturity means you have to be flexible and balanced. Devotees should be very, very balanced. That shows his maturity. Not compromising. Prabhupada never compromised the principles. But he was very, very accommodative, open-hearted to give Krishna consciousness to anyone and everyone. That is the purpose. He wanted to make everyone as a Vaishnava Brahman. Okay? Hare Krishna. Any other comment or question? Okay.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for the wonderful class. One point was very inspiring to me. You were mentioning that South Indian Brahmana was getting symptoms of love of God by reading Bhagavad Gita also. So, Maharaj, I had one doubt. You mentioned that this knowledge is revealed knowledge and revelation will come by mercy. So sometimes we see that devotees, they read scriptures as a seva. Their seva is to read scriptures and teach scriptures, so they may spend more time with scriptures. Sometimes we see devotees, they keep doing seva, different types of services, and they also read scriptures. Sometimes some devotees, they are very sincere in their sadhana to get mercy. So one of my understandings is that it's not the activity, but it's the mood in which you are trying to do that activity that attracts the mercy. So is it like proper, or can tell more? What exactly will attract mercy?
This pastime also reveals that secret. He said, I am studying Bhagavad Gita not to become scholar in Bhagavad Gita. I am studying Bhagavad Gita because my Guru told me to study Bhagavad Gita. Why you should study Prabhupada's books? Because Prabhupada told, I work so hard. It is your duty to study those books. We have to study Prabhupada's books because Prabhupada told us to do that. That is called the symptom of a disciple. Disciples follows the orders of the instruction, orders of the spiritual master. This Brahmana became realized not because he studied Bhagavad Gita. He became realized because he followed the instruction of his spiritual master with complete faith. Dhruva Maharaj also revealed the same thing. He could see Krishna face to face in 6 months, not because of his austerity. We become so much carried away by the austerity. But that was not the purpose. That is not the reason Dhruva Maharaj could see Krishna face to face. He could see Krishna face to face because he has complete faith in the words of the spiritual master, Narada Muni. He followed them. The same way, if we have faith in the words of the spiritual master, and in our case, the preeminent spiritual master of our movement is His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and if you have complete faith in his words, then definitely you will get the same results. Because this is the eternal principle. It's not what we do, why we do. Prabhupada said we should, in purport, one of the purports in Chaitanya Charitamrita is telling that we should always, 24 hours a day, we should study, hear and chant. That is the purpose of our life. But because we cannot do it, because of our other conditioning, Prabhupada has given the process of practical devotional service, so that we can get the same benefit. But we miss that point. And we try to artificially do that, what we are not able to do. We have to understand, Prabhupada knows better than us what we can do, and more important than what we cannot do. That's why he has brought 64 to 16, but that's minimum, that's not maximum. But he expects at certain point of time, we become completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. That is the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to awaken love of God. If that is clear, then everything will be very clear. Whether you study, whether you manage, whether you preach, if the purpose is to please Prabhupada, purpose is to please Krishna, you will get the result. Okay? Hare Krishna. So we'll end here because Anuttamapu is thinking why is not stopping, because 10 o'clock is the beginning of the next session. 9:55. 5 minutes to 10. So we'll end here. So we'll continue our hearing tomorrow, and also we'll continue our hearing in our communication seminar. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur